Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Weihrauch. And in today's episode, we're talking about a Chinese spy, and we're asking the question, who can I trust? This is coming from a pretty disturbing story that was in the news this week. I read about it in the New York Times. Linda Sun, who has worked for the New York governor's office for the last 14 years, along with her husband, was arrested for being an agent of the Chinese government. And what the U.S. government is alleging that she and her husband did is pretty awful. During 14 years working for the government of the United States is alleging that Linda rewrote speeches using Chinese talking points, blocked Taiwanese officials from meeting with New York officials, issued official letters of invitation, allowing Chinese government officials to come to America and travel in the country. It's pretty scathing stuff. The government also alleges that Linda and her husband profited from this work tremendously, receiving event tickets, cash payouts, travel, all kinds of things for their nefarious actions. And here's why this story is disturbing. Of course, we don't want Chinese spies in our government. We don't want spies of any kind in our government. But also, one of the things we talk about in this podcast pretty regularly are conspiracy theories. That's because as a pastor, I have witnessed firsthand families and friendships that are being torn apart because of one person's belief that they need to find, discover, and deal with various conspiracies that are happening in our country. I have seen the unprovable nature of these theories pit friend against friend, family member against family member, and it breaks my heart. So when one of these stories happens, I groan a little bit, not just because we don't want spies in our government, but because I worry that people will find validation in stories like this for all the other theories that they're believing. And look, I want to be clear. The Bible affirms two things. First, the Bible is very honest that conspiracies in our world are real. In Psalm 2, the kings of the earth are gathering together to make their evil plans. In the book of Esther, a plot is hatched to kill all the Jews. In the book of Nehemiah, people are conspiring to keep Israel from rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. Conspiracies are in the Bible because conspiracies are in our world. But second, the Bible affirms that there is no conspiracy that can escape the attention of God. In Psalm 2, the kings of the earth gather, but the Lord just laughs. He sees them. He knows. In the book of Esther, the nefarious plot to kill the Jews is swallowed up by God's plot to rescue them through Esther. In Nehemiah, the walls are built because God is greater than the conspirators. So as Christians, I'm not saying that we can't believe there are conspiracies. I'm just simply saying we can never believe that the conspiracies are greater than God, can escape his judgment, can escape his attention. We should never believe that the hope of the world is you and I being online sleuths. The hope of the world is that God's redemptive plan is greater than any evil plan that stands against it. But I do want to make one thing clear. Part of the fight against conspiracy theories and the destructive effect they can have on relationships is transparent and open and accountable leadership. I think when leaders get it wrong, so in this case, the New York governor's office having a spy in their midst for 14 years, we have to say so. The spotlight of transparency has to be shown on the last 14 years. We have to show people all the ways we got it wrong, all the things we could have done better, and all the changes we're going to make as a result. One of the ways to keep people from worrying about what is in the shadows is to make sure that when we get it wrong, there are no shadows. Light everything up. Say what we got wrong. In that kind of leadership, people will find hope that you aren't hiding something from them. My fear is this is going to be another story that in a week gets swept under the rug with everyone kind of pointing the finger at everyone else but themselves. And when we do that, we create the dark corners where our family members go to find their next conspiracy theory. We should want and demand open and accountable and transparent leadership. And as those of us, I'm including myself here, who have been called to leadership, that's the way we should lead. Shadows ruin families. They ruin community. but spotlight can save us. I hope that's the kind of leadership we see out of the New York governor's office. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. While you're here, we'd love to ask you to hit subscribe or to like so you get future content. If you listen to the audio version too, make sure you leave a review and a comment. That really helps. Consider sharing it on social media and helping us get the word out. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content that Christ Community Chapel is putting out, including the videos that are around me right now.